What's up, everybody? Weston here with the Hidden Gibbon, back with another deck tech video. And today we have Mendicant his bias. Wait, that's the wrong property. Halo reference there for you. It's only a matter of time until we get Halo into Magic. We all know it. Just we gotta live with that there. All right. So without further ado, we have Mendicant Core Guidelight. He's from Aether Drift, and he is a 3 toughness star for the front, and Azorius, and Mendicant Core's power is equal to the number of artifacts you control, and has start your engines, and max speed. Whenever you cast an artifact spell, you may pay 1. If you do, copy it. Okay, so speed, that's something that I was, I didn't play a lot of Aether Drift, so speed was a little confusing to me at first. But for new players, here's what it does. If you have no speed, it starts at 1. It increases once on each of your turns when an opponent loses life. So in a blue-white deck like this, you're going to have to attack them unless you have add a card into ping. This deck is coming in at about $842. Again, I kind of make decks to show what power they could have. Of course, you can always make budgety decisions, like dropping out things like Tezzeret here or Ugin. I also, going forward, am gonna, probably starting next week, try to do at least 2 budget decks a week, like where they're strictly budget, somewhere between $50 and $110, because economic circumstances at this time are dictating that a lot of folks can't afford more, and that's understandable. But let's get into it, all right? So Mendicant Core here, what you're going to want to do is ping your opponents, get them low, and then just start copying lots of artifacts. It's an artifact deck. It does artifact deck things. Our Planeswalkers, we have Tezzeret, Cruel Captain, and it's whenever an artifact you control enters, put a loyalty counter on it. This can get out of hand very fast. You can pay 0, untap an artifact creature, or tap or, untap target artifact or creature. If it's an artifact creature, put a 1/1 counter on it. You -3 to tutor up artifact card with mana value 1 or less, reveal it and put it into your hand. And -7 is you get an emblem with at the beginning of combat in your turn. Put 3 1/1 counters on target artifact you control. If it's a non-creature, or if it's not a creature, it becomes a 0/0 robot artifact creature. Not too exciting of a -7, but it's -3 is very strong, and its 0 is also pretty good. And if you manage to just dump out a bunch of artifacts, you might be able to even ult him twice. Aether Spark. It's an equipment artifact planeswalker. As long as you can, it's attached to a creature, it can't be attacked, and it has whenever equipped creature deals combat damage this turn, you may put a loyalty counter, or you put that many loyalty counters on it. Sorry, I woke up about 30 minutes ago, so not doing the best at the speaky parts today. Attach the Aether Spark up to 1 target creature you control, put a 1/1 counter on it. You can draw 2 cards with it, and you can add 10 mana of any color. And then Ugin. Whenever you cast this spell, exile up to 1 target permanent. Whenever you cast a colorless spell, exile up to 1 permanent that's 1 or more colors. +2, gain 3 life, draw a card. 0, add triple colorless. And -11, search your library for any number of colorless cards, exile them, shuffle them, and then until end of turn you can cast them without paying the mana cost. Alright, so now into our creatures. We've got Bronze Guardian. This card's underrated. I know he costs 5, but he has Double Strike and Ward 2. And the other part of him is other artifacts you control have Ward 2. In a game where there's lots of artifact removal, especially targeted removal, it's just good to have protection. And the other day when I was playing with my Shroom deck, which runs this card, my opponents had to deal with this rather than my other cards that were much more scary. Chief of the Foundry, artifacts get +1/+1. Cybermen Squadron, non-legendary artifact creatures you control have Myriad. So when these things attack, they will all have Myriad. He does cost 7 though, so he's more of a mid to late game card. Esper Sentinel, Ethereum Sculptor, Aethersworn Canonist, so people can't get all their stuff out. Also, I really, really like the Esper style art, right? I know that there's Mirrodin where where things are half like machine and half not, but I really truly like this style of art. Aethersworn Sphinx has affinity for artifacts. It has Cascade, and it's, you know, a 9-drop with Cascade, so you get something good. Foundry Inspector, Goldmer, Guidelight Optimizer. He taps to add a blue, spend it only to cast an artifact or activate an ability. Iron Spider, Stark Upgrade, is a artifact creature from the current Spider-Man set. He has Vigilance. Tap, put a counter on each artifact creature you control and or vehicle. So what he is he's a Steel Overseer for 1 more mana. Because he does have Vigilance, and he does have an extra ability on him of remove 2 1/1 counters from among artifacts you control to draw a card. So, like, Steel Overseer, the original here, is a 1/1 for 2 that taps to put a 1/1 on each artifact creature. So he's just a kind of power-crept Steel Overseer. We have Lady Octopus. Whenever you draw your first or second card each turn, put an Ingenuity counter on Lady Octopus. And you can tap and you can cast an artifact spell from your hand with mana value less than or equal to the number of Ingenuity counters on Lady Octopus without paying its mana cost. Momenon. I love this card from Edge of Eternities. Sadly, I never opened a Momenon. I'm going to have to order his special art. Flying, and you may look at the top card of your library at any time. You may cast artifact spells from the top of your library, and artifacts you control have tap, add blue. Spend this mana only to cast spells from anywhere other than your hand, so they'll help cast more artifacts from the top of your library. Ornithopter of Paradise. Phyrexian Metamorph. You know, I've talked about this card before. This is one of my favorite cards in all of Magic the Gathering, right up there with Hidden Gibbon and Silver Seraph. Research Thief, Flash and Flying, and whenever an artifact creature you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. We have lots of artifact creatures. Sai, he makes Thopters when you cast an artifact spell, and you can sacrifice 2 artifacts to draw a card. Silvermer, he's a mana dork. Sad Robot here. He gets you a land and draws you a card. We already went over Steel Overseer. Thought Monitor. He has affinity for artifacts, and when he enters, draw 2 cards. Fun. I also run this in my Showroom deck, and I made it so that way I could copy Thought Monitor, and so I was getting Thought Monitors every turn. He had Myriad. I put Blade of Selves on him, so I was getting lots and lots of him. Of card draw. Urza, Prince of Krug, good old Urza. Artifact creatures you control get +2/+2. You can also create a token that's a copy of target artifact you control, except it's a 1/1 soldier creature token in addition to its other types. We have this name that I'm not even going to attempt to now. Vinwixt, Verbose Host. Has start your engines, you have no maximum hand size, and at max speed, if you would draw a card, you draw 2 cards instead. And then Voyager Quick Wielder. Artifact spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. For our sorceries, we have Austere Command. Don't choose artifacts. We have Farewell. Again, probably don't choose artifacts. Organic Extinction. Destroy all non-artifact creatures. It also has Improvise. We have Supreme Verdict here. Another Wrath. We have Voyage Home, which this art just looks wholesome. It also looks like something that I would see off of the movie Batteries Not Included. Wow, that reference is gonna fly over a lot of people's heads. Yes, I am old. It has affinity for artifacts and draw 3 cards, gain 3 life. Thoughtcast, affinity, draw 2 cards. For instance, it's 100% removal. We've got our standard blue-white package in here: Swords, Path, Generous Gift, Pungify, and Stroke of Midnight. And then for artifacts, this is where we pile in a ton of artifacts, right? Got Arcane Signet, Azorius Signet, Blade of Selves for some more Myriad, Brotherhood Regalia, Encroaching Mycosynth. This card is underrated and is so strong. I used this card to great effect in my Showroom deck, and I never realized just how strong it was until there was that. So this is non-land permanents you control are artifacts in addition to their other types. That's pretty simple. And then the same is true for permanent spells you control, so like when you cast them, they're artifacts, and non-land permanent cards you own that aren't on the battlefield. So the cards in your deck and in your graveyard and in exile are also artifacts. That's very, very good. Felwar Stone, Forsaken Monument, Krark Clan Ironworks, so that way you can sacrifice some artifacts and get some mana. We have ourselves some Lightning Greaves, our boots, Lotus Petal, Machine God's Effigy. This card is also really strong. You can have it enter as a copy of any creature on the battlefield, except it's an artifact, and it can add blue. Mox Amber, Mox Opal, Sculpting Steel, Simulacrum Synthesizer, Skull Clamp, Soul Ring, Swiftfoot Boots, Talisman of Progress, Eternity Elevator, Whisper Silk Cloak for unblockable, and Uthros Research Craft. This card is also very strong. Then we get down here to our enchantments. We're only running one. Just one. Enchant creature, artifact, or creature you control. The first time you would create one or more tokens each turn. You instead create that many that are copies of the enchanted permanent. And then we have our lands. Adagia. I am so high on this card. Like, this card is underrated and is very strong. And I recently went to one of my local LGSs and picked up a ton of them. For the one in the 1 to 9 bin, because I think the card's underrated. We have Academy Ruins, Ancient Den, artifact lands in here like Darksteel. We have Inventor's Fair for like a tutor. Margondo Raceway adds double if you have max speed. Rogue's Passage from Unblockable. Uthros, also a very strong card. So technically, by word of the law, this deck is bracket 2. That being said, I would probably play this at bracket 3. You could probably play it at bracket 4. I just chose to not put Game Changers in it because we are already high on our budget. Game Changers just make things even more expensive. But let me know what you think of Mendicant here. Not Mendicant bias, but Mendicant. And let me know what you think of the deck. What options would you sub in or sub out? As always, I am Weston with the Hidden Gibbon, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.